geht durch die Welt ein Geflüster. Arbeiter, hörst du es nicht? Das sind die Stimmen der Kriegsminister. Arbeiter, hörst du sie nicht? Es flüstern die Kohle- und Stahlproduzenten. Es flüstert die chemische Kriegsproduktion. Es flüstert von allen Kontinenten. Mobilmachung gegen die Sowjetunion.
Arbeiter bauen, nehmt die Gewehre zur Hand. Zerschlagt die faschistischen Räuberheere, setzt alle Herzen in Brand. Lasst eure Noten wandern der Arbeit auf die Gedanken, auf jede Fabrik.
Dann steigt aus den Trümmern der alten Gesellschaft die sozialistische Weltrepublik.
Dann steigt aus den Trümmern der alten Gesellschaft die sozialistische Weltrepublik.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Intel Drop number 12. The cabal can make anyone believe anything. I had a conversation today with Gideon about everything going on. Here's most of it. Bill, they've actually gone bonkers. Why do people believe the idiocy they spew? Gideon, because the cabal can make anyone believe anything. Bill, the agents seem more frenzied and hysterical than ever. What is going on with them? Gideon, the agents are trying to become sovereign, so they will do anything to please the cabal. Bill, so they have an even bigger incentive to lie than normal? Gideon, yes they do. Bill, I still see people calling us a hoax. But how can it be a hoax with such intense attempts at censorship and so many agents swarming us? Gideon, because it isn't a hoax. Bill, why can't people use the brains God gave them and engage in a little logical deduction and see that? Gideon, because their minds are controlled by the cabal. They don't think for themselves. They follow certain narratives. It's comforting to live in a world where CSRQ isn't real or can't happen. The agents reassure them things aren't really that bad, and people like you or me must be some kind of hoax or psyop. Bill, they don't go after QAnon like this. They prop up guys like Phil Godlewski with money, agents, or Dave at X22 Report, and millions of people follow them without a hint of pushback or censorship. Gideon, that's because that's a real hoax, a real psyop. They want the truth seekers believing in it. They don't want them believing in us. You have to fight every day to stay above water. Bill, what about their capabilities? It seems they have the power to do anything, create any lie out of thin air. Gideon, they can do whatever they want, Bill. Let's go back 30 years. They erased Bob Lazar's entire life history in an instant. His record's gone. He was left with one little piece of paper that proved he had some kind of tangential connection to the U.S. government, but it wasn't much. If they could do that then, imagine what they could do now. Bill, they can fake emails. They can fake anything. Gideon, anything. It can be generated convincingly. If they need to discredit someone, it's easy. They can create a false record of your life, if they need to, including a false criminal history. They can create an entire fake history of your online activities if they have to. They can falsely accuse, charge, and imprison someone, which they do all the time. Bill, I had hundreds of brute force attacks per day on my site. I posted on my Twitter about it. Then they stopped. Do you think they got into it? Gideon, very likely yes. Bill, so they got in and planted things. Gideon, it would fit the narrative they are building, yes. Bill, I changed the password. It was a strong one. Gideon, they can backdoor the query so it will bypass the limiter and run it thousands of times without it triggering the limiter. That's probably what was done. Bill, how often do they do things like this? Gideon, rarely. You're an exception. They despise you. Bill, it seems so. The level of hate, vitriol, anger, it's off the charts with these people. Gideon, they're scared of you and us. Bill, they're accusing us of things which are false, but in some cases they're not. It seems to stem from their failure to comprehend the reset. Don't they know everything will be wiped out? Gideon, of course they know that, but they don't want the public to know that. They want the public to keep believing in the system. Bill, right. I think we've been attacked over things that we explained over and over, but it doesn't sink in. We know that all fiat will go to zero. We know the cabal has a new digital currency coming. Gideon, they're terrified of us actually waking people up to the reality that their world as they know it is going to fade away into nothing and be replaced with CSRQ. Bill, it's interesting how the areas they attack us the hardest are the things they don't want out or want people to know or believe. Gideon, it's very telling, isn't it? Bill, they seem to have found out about Obsidian. How much does that escalate us? Gideon, they don't know what it is. They're not smart enough to figure it out, so it doesn't matter. No, I don't know about that. Bill, you mean the agents or the public Who believe the agents? Gideon, both. The cabal probably isn't worried about anyone figuring it out, not yet. Bill, I made a mistake with that, didn't I? Gideon, it's not important now. Let them spin their fairy tales and fantasies. It will keep them busy. Have you noticed how they are wrong about almost everything you do and say? Bill, yeah, they're not very smart. They just think they're smart. Michael said one guy went nuts last night, saying I took down my site, saying a 403 means I took it down. Well, I proved today I didn't. Gideon, the cabal adores people like that because they work for free as agents. But they'll end up as common class and still get injected. They'll get no reward for the free work they do against us. Bill, God, they're dumb. And why would I want my beautiful site to be removed? I loved it. Gideon, they might have thought you would give yourself some kind of credibility to say the cabal removed it. Bill, okay, but that didn't happen, and I have proof it was not removed by me. Gideon, proof means nothing to them. Bill, let us ask you this. Are these agents scared of not becoming sovereign? Gideon, they're terrified because they know what it means to be common. Bill, there's 100,000 agents operating at any given time, and only a handful among them are sovereign. The rest are desperate to gain that status. Bill, so the more they deny that CSRQ is real, the more they push against us, the higher chance the cabal may bless them with an upgrade. Gideon, exactly. And they know time is running out, quickly running out. Bill, God, this is all making sense now. They're trying to score points, gain brownie points. The more they can attack us, spin lies, twist everything, call us names, the better chance they have to become sovereign. Gideon, they know they won't have much time either to get USDR. Bill, wow, if it's late in the game and they get made sovereign, what then for them? Gideon, probably a week or two to make some transfers, everything they have. They know they might not end up with much on the other side of this. They will do anything to get that upgrade as soon as they can to impress the cabal. Bill, it's all coming together now. It's all making sense now. Plus, you have the rest of the sovereigns preparing. Look what they're doing to the economy. Gideon, they're getting ready for the big dance, the crash. Bill, September, right? Gideon, very likely. When they pull the plug, Bill, it will be like 2008 all over again, but 100 times worse. It's going to sneak up on everyone. Bill, America gets hit the hardest? Gideon, yes. The United States is ground zero. The cabal wants it burned to the ground. I would not have us doing any of this if we were there. We would have to get out first. Then Europe will crumble and the rest of the dominoes will fall. Bill, everything we're saying about this collapse is becoming confirmed and validated by other sources all the time, constantly. Gideon, of course. They are very credible people paying attention. They know exactly what's coming. They see it. Bill, like Michael Burry? Gideon, he knows. Bill, what about Jim Rickards and Martin Armstrong? Gideon, they know. They have a piece of it. What about Greg Manarino? Gideon, he seems to have a piece of it too. Bill, but not the whole picture? Gideon, no. And if they do know, they're not saying it. Bill, no one is really talking about CSRQ in a real way except us. We're the only ones. Gideon, the only ones. No one has come close to detailing the exact plan the way we have, the exact scenario, what they exactly plan to do, because we know we have access. And that's why you're being targeted. Well, those other guys just talk and talk without any censorship at all. Bill, it's just incredible all of this. Where do we stand right now on the sovereign situation? Gideon, my guys don't want to move forward with it, not now. They have cold feet. They're watching all this play out and they don't like it. They don't like how the public is siding with agents. They're wondering what the point of risking their lives was for. Bill, I don't blame them at all, but we've got to change their minds. Gideon, I'm working on it. Bill, this is where people lose their damn minds because we want to help people become sovereign. Gideon, Bill, I've told you 1,000 times. If we attempt this, they're going to go crazy trying to stop us. They know once an account is deleted, they can't find out who we made sovereign. Can you imagine how upset that makes the cabal? Bill, I would imagine it infuriates them. Gideon, they don't want us doing this. They will lie until they are blue in the face to convince people to keep believing in their false system rather than believing CSRQ is real. Bill, do you think when we get closer to the end game and it's obvious we were right that our enemies will come to us? Is it possible for them to see no reason? Is it possible for them to see reason? Gideon, yes. They will have a change of heart. They will come begging. They will see the writing on the wall that the end is near, and they will think of you and me. Bill, you know, I already had one person do that. Gideon, more will do it. Bill, should we help them? The ones who betrayed us and doubted us if they come to us later? Gideon, no. Bill, damn, that's cold. Gideon, think of the people they deceived with their lies, who they turned away from us. Think of the damage they did, Bill, before they woke up. Remember that. Bill, I will. Too many others deserve it, not them. Gideon, too many good people do not deserve to be force injected, so why would we save them? Bill, We won't, I promise. I won't give them the time of day. Gideon, if they were once an enemy, don't. Bill, we've had a lot of problems sorting out the bad people from the good. How do we form a small group we can trust? I even have this one really obvious agent acting like they are my friend. Gideon, use discernment, and if you need help, just keep passing them along to me. I will check on them. Bill, good, I'll keep doing that. I just feel like the agents have this power over us. How do they have so much power? Gideon, because they have a license to lie and gatekeepers and money to back them up. Bill, we should be able to beat them with the truth. Gideon, we should, but the public relishes their lies. If the people rejected their lies, they would have no power, none at all. Bill, same for the cabal. Gideon, the cabal's power would evaporate into a puff of nothingness if the public simply stopped believing their lies. It's not hard. You and I don't believe them because their lies are so unbelievably stupid in the first place. Bill, I never believed the COVID crap. Just at the start, I was worried, but after a month or two, I said, okay, this is bullshit. Gideon, and then it became an education for you. You learned more about the reality of our world, viruses and other things they stick in you. Bill, I always knew it was suspect. I never got the flu shot. I knew that was bad. But COVID opened my eyes to all the truth, how it's all a huge scam, all of it, going back 100 years, back to Pasteur, the terrain theory versus germ theory. Gideon, it's sad that an event like this would serve to fully and totally wake up a very small few, but put to sleep even deeper the majority. Bill, it's incredible how, as the cabal gets nuttier, the more people seem to believe in them. Gideon, it's a mixture of sunk cost fallacy, fear doubling down. Okay, the people who got that know something's wrong. They're too weak to admit it. Bill, well, in fairness, a few are getting angry. Gideon, a few, it should be tens of millions. Instead, those millions are busy doing that to little children with deadly poisonous things. They are literally murdering their own children so Pfizer can be richer. Bill, how do we win if it's this easy for the cabal? Gideon, I don't think we can. Bill, I wish this ended on a better note, but it is what it is. Gideon, we're going to be okay, Bill. You and me and our group. We have to worry about us now. Gideon, we're going to be okay, Bill. You and me and our group. We have to worry about us now. Bill, okay, I feel like we're giving up. Gideon, don't give up. Find the few who are good. Find the few who can help us. Find them. And fight back if you have to. Fight back. Bill, I will. You know, people will treat you the way you let them treat you. So all this stuff going on right now, the only reason it's continuing to go on is because the public's allowing it to go on. You know, 9/11 happened. The people who did it didn't get punished. So they started doing other things. Then they started building these fusion centers and gang stalking people and using directed energy weapons. And the public hasn't stopped them from doing it. So they keep doing it because the public's allowing it to happen. So the people in power are like, there's no consequences. Nobody's stopping us. So they'll just do anything. Like I said, people will treat you the way you let them. Going to a far enough stream, people will line people up in the head and shoot them in the fucking head if you let them. You know, look what's going on over in Israel and Palestine right now. Israel's mass murdering the Palestinians, and the world's not doing anything about it. So Israel's like, whatever, we can do what we want. Nobody's stopping us. So they're like, you know, mass murdering babies and shit. You know, killing fucking tens of thousands of people. And, you know, committing mass genocide and, you know, making mass graves of bodies and stuff. And the world's just letting them do it. So they're just going to continue to do it. Because when somebody commits a crime, they have to face consequences. If somebody does something against the, you know, the moral code of humanity, they have to face the consequences. They're just going to keep doing it. For example, in Israel, they're committing mass genocide and murdering tens of thousands of people. And, you know, they're finding, you know, all kinds of bodies in mass graves. And they're just going to continue to do it because they're not getting punished for it. The world's letting them do it. All the countries in the world are letting them do it. So they're just going to continue to do it. Now, one thing I will say about that thing in Israel, that could be just a setup to start a massive world war, you know? Like, just like the end of the Bible says, all the countries attack Israel. So they could just be playing out Bible prophecy and trying to make it look real, you know, in order for all kinds of agendas. But, you know, like I said, people will treat you the way you let them treat you. And that could go, you know, an example could be your romantic partner, you know? If your romantic partner is physically or mentally abusing you, if you let it happen, they'll just continue to do it. But if you say, listen, if you don't stop this, I'm going to break up with you, maybe they'll stop because you're not going to put up with that behavior. And it's the same thing with all the stuff going on in the world right now with the gang stalking and with the directed energy weapons. People are being attacked with directed energy weapons. The proof's online if people will look, but people won't even fucking look at the proof. And They just believe the cover story of these assholes. It's like fucking really, it's really frustrating when you actually are telling people the fucking truth and they don't believe you. There's nothing more frustrating than that. But what are you going to do? People are fucking stupid. They believe people in power before somebody who they think has no credibility. The reason all these people are being tortured and gang stalked is because they're being allowed to do it. Nobody's punishing the people doing it. Nobody, you know, I don't see any protests going on outside of the Signals intelligence bases. Canadian Forces Station Leitrim is torturing people with directed energy weapons, and nobody's protesting in front of the base. There should be thousands of fucking people in front of Canadian Forces Station Leitrim and shutting that goddamn base down. They're torturing and murdering people with directed energy weapons. But everybody thinks, oh, that's not true. You're just fucking crazy. You know, they think it's like some sort of fucking, it's a mass delusion and you got mental problems, right? The exact fucking cover story of these fucking Freemason assholes. So the Freemasons are actually fucking evil geniuses because they know exactly how to spin a story, a good cover story, and the people fucking fall right for it and they suck it in big time. And it's frustrating to talk to these people because you know, there's a lot of armchair psychologists. They think they know everything about psychology. It's just hard to fucking convince people of something that they don't think is real because you know, they think they're psychologists when they're not. But yeah, if you want to know about gang stalking and directed energy weapons, well, just go to the bottom of my page. You can watch the Freemason Gang Stalking Manual Exposed, parts 1, 2, and 3. And then you can watch Freemason Mind Control Secrets Revealed. And it's all right, it explains it all right there perfectly how it all works. You know, people, that's too much work for people to even, you know, go watch a fucking video with all the evidence. What are you going to do, man? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Keep up the good fight. Peace out.
Die